Welcome to Palm Central Podcast, where the conversation is as rich as the palm wine. I'm your host, Uncle AK. With me, I got my co-host, Chef T. What's good with you, bro?
What it do, man? You know, we back with another banger. Held the Commanders, got that dub. You know, I had to represent. And you know, sorry to the late great. You know, the Kempe Mutombo. We lost a good African brother this past week, so send my condolences to him. But ready for another episode. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Send your condolences to the person who died.
To the family, T. To the family. Can we respect?
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
What's good with you?
Hi, happy Tuesday. You know, Ty, I was going to ask, you know how you have your tagline every time? You always start off, just like how AK has his tagline, you'd be like, we're back with another banger. You don't ever feel like switching it up or anything like that?
Is that what always, is that a headline of mine?
You always say that. Back with another episode, or back with another banger. We will care to give the people what they asking for.
It's working. Man. Why would he change?
I was just asking. Sorry, if I messed up the intro, I'm so sorry. Happy Tuesday, guys.
I have a question for you. Last week you targeted me. This week you're targeting Tayo. What's the problem?
I don't know. Okay. I thought consistency was good on things like this, but I don't know.
Oh man.
I just know your taglines. I just know your taglines a lot.
Mm-hmm. You need to come up with one. I think that's what it is. You should have one now.
I think she came up with one already, mimicking people.
Hey, AKA Ditto. We'll start calling you Ditto.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
the Ditto.
We see the nails. What?
Abby, she's flaunting the nails. We see him.
Black Panther. Wow. We see you. Anyways, T, what's good?
How y'all doing? I'm doing okay. I'm alive. I'm here. So let's go.
Amen.
Do this real quick.
You know what?
It's just me, honey.
Ooh, thought maybe that was me. That baby oil. You sure that's not that?
No,
baby
it's just me.
It's just from Costco.
It's natural essence.
Natural.
That is too soon.
Wait, what's too
soon? My bad.
I ooze glory.
Glory.
That's what some of these people on here is lacking.
Give us the word glory.
Just saying.
Give us the word.
I won't call names though.
No, call names.
Give your sister glory.
I'm not here. I'm just go ahead and run the episode.
Sunday morning, is that what you're saying? Go back.
Sunday morning, you wake up and get to church. 9 a.m. service, 11 a.m. service.
It does not say all that. Oh, wow. Happy Tuesday, by the way, everybody. Happy Tuesday. For those who think it's Sunday, happy Tuesday.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Every week, we gather around this virtual palm wine bar to share stories, debate hot topics, and explore the world around us. For the latest news, trends, and deep dive into culture, technology, and everything in between. We got you. Whether you're looking to laugh, insight, or just a good conversation, you're in the right place. So grab your cup, your favorite palm wine, or whatever you're sipping on, and join us as we chat.
Your bottle.
Oh, look at this intro. For more Nigerian music, visit irocking.com.
Hold on. Put your drink in the air.
So grab your favorite palm wine or whatever you're sipping on and join us for a chat that's always lively and never boring. You listen to the Palm Wine Central Podcast, pour yourself a glass, and let's dive in. T, I don't try.
Making up lost time.
Making up for lost time. I said that earlier.
Jesus, it's cancelled because y'all already saw this. We're about to start now. Hold on, I've not had the timer on. That one is cancelled.
I'm on this one, man. Let's
go. You see how AK is still trying to figure out what it is?
No, I already got it.
That's okay.
I was making for lost time.
20 seconds on the clock. All right.
There's no 4.
Is that 30 seconds?
20. Since you all
20.
think you got your degree and everything.
Okay.
I got me 2 degrees.
Good.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Oh.
Start now.
Eat
Go,
to
go.
go.
No. The E is what color?
Red to go.
Ready to go. Ready to
Ready
go.
to
Ready to
go.
go.
Boom. Chef T. Hey.
Boy,
Chef
you think
T
you're
on the
doing something?
matter.
You think you're doing something?
Start.
Boko Haram.
Ha! Calm down. Which one is Boko Haram?
I just see harm.
Good
So
harm.
bad, good.
Many good harm.
Harm.
Many,
Okay. Good start, Chef T. Many harm.
Many good,
harm. Good.
many things.
Okay. The harm is many. The few is
Good.
I already flipped the time. Okay, but
Many good. Few harm.
no. Okay,
Many harm.
many
Few good.
few good. Okay, and the saying goes.
Many harm, few good.
The saying, what's the expression?
I don't know.
Too good to be true. I don't know.
More harm than good.
More harm than good.
More harm than good.
Think
2 degrees.
Oh, more harm than good. Okay.
All right, go.
Your
What?
guess, my
Your guess,
guess.
my guess. 91 out of 100. Your guess, my multiple choice.
No. What's
guess,
this?
my
What this and this are?
Score.
Fraction.
Okay, the scores are
I just scores.
Percentage.
no. What
No,
are
the
they?
score.
They're
Numbers.
not different.
Numbers.
No, they're not different. They're
Same.
The same.
okay. What's the other word for same?
Similar.
Your guess.
Similar.
Your guess is the same.
Okay.
My guess.
Yeah,
My
what's
guess,
the
my guess is
something
as
like
good as yours.
yes.
You're waiting.
What'd you say?
What you
My
say?
guess is as good as yours.
Oh yes.
Oh, my guess is as good as yours. Okay. Your
I'm
guess
not
is,
even gonna bother with the timer anymore.
I'll be
Okay.
Dirty jokes.
dirty joke.
I knew you would have that one.
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
Hey.
Jaywalking.
Yes.
Jaywalking.
This girl
Come
got it.
on.
Ground feet. Ground above feet. Above.
Uh-huh. Yes, ground above feet.
Ground
and
level.
No. Follow tires. Follow
Ground
tires.
above
Ground
feet.
feet. Many feet.
How
Above
many
ground.
feet?
Multiple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 feet.
6 feet under
Oh,
the
6 feet
ground.
under the ground. 6 feet under the ground.
6 feet under the ground.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Cool.
That
That
one
one you just come with the
No.
Okay, if you don't have this one, I'll throw you away.
I'm singing after the fact.
Pisces.
Pisces.
Yes.
Of course, Eke isn't gonna get it. Just look at that.
Got it. Already got it. Pisces.
No, forget
No, you
that
get
one.
it. You keep getting it.
All
after
right,
people say it.
last one.
Speak my language.
No.
Language.
Language.
Okay, language, and then
Language for
okay, and where's for?
in the middle.
Okay, so put it together.
For length. No.
Language for you.
Violent.
No. The for is you said in the middle. Put it in the middle of the whole of the word.
Lang middle. Lang middle-ish.
Lang middle.
No, you're forgetting the for.
Oh, lang for middle.
For middle.
No, separate it. The for, and then the language.
Oh.
For middle.
Middle lang.
It's in
Middle lang.
for
middle
in the
lang.
middle of the for is in the middle of.
Language.
Okay, say faster.
For in the middle of
For in
language.
the middle. For in the middle. For in the middle.
For in the. AK, you're no help.
For in the middle.
of language.
For in the middle. Language.
For language.
Mhm.
For in the middle language. For in the
Okay,
middle.
so remove the obvious part, which is the middle, and then say the rest.
For language.
For in
Only
language.
Foreign language.
Foreign language.
Foreign language. I got it. Foreign language.
That was tough, man.
That was a little tough.
That was kind of difficult. I'm not gonna hold you.
She helped us out though.
Because you said middle, so that's why I was like,
threw me
okay.
Yeah, then I said take the obvious part out.
Tutu
Say
said for the middle language. For the middle language. For the middle language.
I was gonna say for the middle language because I was confused as to like what she was saying.
I'm gonna get this one. Put it up. Bring it.
We got one more.
Last one.
Pilot.
No. What you see a pilot?
Plot twist.
Plot.
Okay,
No.
stick with plot.
Plot.
And then what happens
Plot.
to the letters as it goes?
Plot bold.
Big plot.
Okay, bold.
Big,
Another thing.
bold plot.
Not bold. What happens to the sizes of the letters?
They increase it.
Big plot. Bigger
Okay.
plot.
And then-
plot.
Bigger plot.
Okay,
Bigger-
stay with it. But
Bigger plot at
when
the
it's
end.
when it's a good story, you say the plot
Twist.
No.
I already said
it's
that.
not-
Oh.
gets bigger. It
The
Oh, it
climax.
gets-
big.
Climax.
No,
The
big.
Mm.
What's another
Big
word
plot.
for big?
Enormous.
Enormous.
Okay,
Big.
another word. Like this. I'm actually doing this.
Large. Expand.
Yes.
Expanded
large.
plot.
Wider.
Plot expanded.
With.
But then look at the
No,
words.
you
What
can't
happens,
say
what happens to
Expanded
the words
plot.
as they go?
Plot expanded.
No, the size of the words. What happens as they get to T?
The plot thickens.
Yes.
Oh.
The plot thickens.
Okay.
Oh Jesus! I don't sweat.
My man kept saying plot twist 3 times
The
after she
plot
said no.
thickens.
You said what?
Plot twist after she said no. Plot
She
twist.
said plot. She kept going. She said, "I go do this plot twist." The
Yeah,
plot
yeah.
thickens.
Oh, the
Okay,
plot
that's it.
twist.
That's it, man. That was
You
a
should
good
have
one.
said like the opposite of thin, thick, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I probably would have got that.
Why would then I'll just give you the answer.
Abi, or just say tutu thighs.
Wow.
That is an interesting twist of events.
That's how
Right.
y'all feel today, right?
Plot twist. Oh, that plot twist.
That
Really.
was the real plot twist, Abi.
That was the
How
real
y'all feel
plot
today.
twist. We did not know that it was coming.
That's cute.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. They say thick thighs save lives, man. So
Not on
Whose
Saturday.
whose lives does
thick
it save?
thighs
though?
save lives.
Didn't say
Tell
my
whose life?
didn't say my shit on Saturday.
It is. Oh,
I bet it
Ooh.
saves somebody's though. It's never the owner's life it saves. Know that. And no peace.
Couldn't save my life for nothing.
How
that's why you're still in the weekend, right? It's still
How
Sunday for
your
you.
life?
Nah, I couldn't get into that damn dress.
Oh,
Mm.
I wonder you were doing this like this.
Oh, you had a wedding, right? I saw you got done up. I saw the makeup and all that. Where was you at?
I know, right?
You had a
Where
whole
was
makeup
you at?
artist and all that.
She was in your state, cuz.
Oh, dang. You see, she just, like a thief in the night, just
'Cause it
came
was
to
in and
Maryland.
out. I didn't have
and
time
rolled
to
out.
make no moves. I was literally in and out.
It's all good, handling business as usual.
Guy, do you even drink beer? Because the way you're holding that bottle, you look like just come to.
You know the funny
It's
thing
for
is,
show.
this funny thing, one is a beverage and then one is a beer.
Oh, you drinking malts?
So one is the malt and one is the grown up.
Yo, that's dirty.
You mixing the two?
You're drinking malt and stout? Ew.
Yeah. That sounds like
Malt is
some.
disgusting.
You know they have malted
Yeah,
Guinness,
no,
so
please
they're
don't
both
say that.
like they're in the same category.
like malts.
Honestly,
You're not African. We've established that.
I'm not. I don't like malt.
Okay.
have you ever had palm wine tutu?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure.
Like it?
Did I like it?
Yeah.
It actually wasn't bad.
Did you like it?
It's a yes or no.
She said it wasn't bad. She's like,
Yeah.
I might not have went back if I had to.
No wonder.
She probably drank that one in the bottle. That's what she drank.
Ah,
Probably. No one that be trying to give per one central intro. She's always hating.
and she's always because she no feel
Yeah,
am, she
cause
no get it.
She knows
I was
Sten.
just trying to figure out like how
Never
you
see
can
I'm
make the
top.
intro. It wasn't bad. I was just like, okay, this is a very detailed intro.
You need to go and drink palm wine from the motherland.
I
And
have
in the
palm wine from the
motherland.
motherland.
Straight from the tree.
It will loosen you up.
That palm wine, that one that stays for like 5 days. That nobody has
Hey,
just like nobody has opened it
bro, chill.
for 5 days.
You want-
You get drunk just by
Guy,
opening
you're
it.
not.
Oh,
You don't
God.
go even remember your name.
Just
days.
opening that container will get you drunk.
So
Simple.
concentrated.
See, one time I had, bought that thing when I kept it. I kept it for like a week and a half. I did not.
Hey,
The minute we opened it, bro, each of us, we took at least 1.5 cup.
a shot.
I'm not going.
What?
I'm not
I
going.
even thought you were about to say shot. He
Yeah,
said a
you're
cup.
both for that one.
I woke up 8 hours later, and then when I woke up, I correct beatings again, and then continue my day. Boy, no, I said nah.
You sure you didn't piss yourself? Because that palm wine is the one you get drunk and piss yourself.
Yes, facts.
That
Well,
fermented palm wine.
there's a possibility that I might have gotten up and went to use the bathroom and came back.
There's no getting up.
Is
with
it
that
a possibility?
There's no getting up.
I didn't
Yes.
have no pee on me when I got up. So there's a possibility that I surely sleepwalk. I used to do that as a kid, actually. I used to sleepwalk. Yeah.
That tracks.
To
I
the
did that one
restroom.
time.
Yeah, I used to sleep.
I did that one time.
That tracks. You are displaying some tendencies. It tracks.
I don't even blame yourself. I beg, let's get down to the main course for the night.
Friends to have a wet bed,
That
so
tracks,
it's
that
better.
tracks. I don't know why, but
Nobody wants a wet bed.
that nobody wants a wet bed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
nah. So that's better.
Until they grow up and want a wet bed. Continue.
Hey.
Because it depends on the wetness.
Let's
Hello.
continue.
See, that's a whole topic of its own because I
Welcome to.
not gonna lie. Sometimes some people just deliberately pee on you for no reason. That's nonsense, man. We don't know.
Some of them think it's pee, but it's not pee. Don't worry, let it out.
Pee.
It's not pee.
Some of that shit's pee.
That title was taken by Lord already.
Facts. Facts.
So
Homeboy thought he was getting squirted on the whole time. It's piss. Yo. Tragic.
That is a square king. Anyways, man, how can I transition this? Yeah, all right. Recently, there's a lot on Offset and caught in the
Cardi B, chai.
and I'd like to say is the offspring of the new generation type relationships or the new idea of what marriage is, or the introduction of technology, right? Technology has made it possible for people to be able to share their thoughts, their ideas, and all that. As compared to back then when, our parents were doing the whole marriage thing and they didn't have any of that, right? Like, where would you find information about, oh, this person did that or that person did this, you know what I mean? As compared to
Word of mouth.
yeah, well, stuff like that. So, I guess for us here right now, my question for us or topic of conversation really is, how has the definition of a good marriage, evolved from previous generations to today's, younger adults? Like, what do you guys see? What do you guys think have, changed over time? Do you guys think that institution is being respected as it was before? Was it even respected as it should have been before as compared to now? What do you guys think? T,
Even
you're nominated to take this one first.
Hey, so I'm nominated. It's definitely different. I can tell you that. To me, what I'm seeing based on the trends, there's less. I don't want to say there's less tolerance in relationships now, right? And for the most part, for good reason, if you ask me, because it was a different time, and there are a lot of things that some of our grandparents and even parents endured that you would not catch me in that shit. I'm gonna just say that right now, and so that also has, I think, plays a difference in what marriage is. And I think at that time, marriage for majority of maybe my grandmothers, some of our parents, that was their way out for some of those women. It's not the case now. I can make my own money. I can find my own way. I do not, let me put it plain and simple, and nobody should read into it. I don't need another person to leave, if that makes sense, because I can go out and make my own money and pay my own bills. That's what I mean by that, right? Our mothers they barely did anything. So I feel like that alone has just shifted to me what what marriage is now that I'm seeing and what I think it is to what I saw my grandparents and parents experience.
Let me ask you this, right? Do you think your view would have? Do you think that your view would be different if you were not in the US of A?
Yes, I think it will be different.
So you don't think so?
I would say for me, right? I'll tell you
Where?
this.
The US.
In the US. No. For me, it's different because, first of all, there was something my mom always drilled in me as a girl. Make sure you get your education, right? My mom didn't get the opportunity to go to school because her mom didn't want to have that burden to have to send a daughter to school. So instead, she was sent into marriage at a very early age. So my mom got married real early. I think she was 14 or 15 when she got married. So she didn't get to go through the formal education. And so one thing she drilled into my sister and I was, make sure you get an education first. So for me, I had that part where she encouraged me to go to school and to pursue the things that I want. Because sometimes she'll be like, oh, this is something that I wish I could have done, or I had the opportunity. But then I'm making sure that you girls have this opportunity, right? And so that changed it for me. At least she didn't send me off to marriage, right? Which sometimes I saw friends too whose parents were not able to take care of them. And the only option was, okay, you go and get married so your husband can take care of you. Then he continues paying for your education, something like that, right? But I think it all depends on what you saw, what was drilled, and what access you had to opportunities.
Just along those lines, Tutu, do you think that Gen Zs have prioritized relationships more than, our parents?
Do I feel like Gen Z is what?
Have prioritized relationships more than, our parents?
I want to say yes and no to a certain degree. I say yes only because I feel like now Gen Z is so caught up in having a relationship and everything's relationship. But then I also say no because I feel like Gen Z doesn't work hard to keep the relationship. Like they'll say they want a relationship, but they don't know how to maintain a relationship or they don't want to work for it. That's what I feel like with this generation is very like, they're very quick to give up. When shit gets hard or shit gets tough, they call it a quits. And that's what's different from our parents back in the day, where it's like they make shit work in a sense. You get what I'm saying? Like they're able to tolerate more stuff than what we are. Like you said, like T was saying, we're very quick to just be like every little like minor inconvenience is like I'm done. So that's what it's like a yes and no. I don't know. I feel like, but then also with like my take on our parents back in the day, I always say this, like, I feel as if our parents, or when it comes to moms, and I could be, I could be wrong, but I personally think that when it comes to some of our African moms, that they put up with a whole bunch of bullshit. And now, like, Tyler's gonna be like, what? But I feel like as if they had to deal with a whole bunch of stuff. Like a lot of shit that their husbands did, they just, okay, I gotta get over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying all, but some moms or some wives, at the end of the day, their husbands are who they depended on. So at the end of the day, if they don't basically like oblige or whatever the situation is, then, that's their ass. Where now is like our generation is like, sometimes you might have the parents that are like, okay, I can't do this no more. I was able to do it back then, but now I can't do it anymore. And so now when you ask our generation, they'll be like, oh, well, I'm not trying to be like my mom, or I'm not trying to go through the stuff that my mom went through because my mom had to deal with a whole bunch of bullshit, and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to this and that. So that's, hey, people can disagree, but I personally feel like that's how it is nowadays.
You know, it's very funny because I'm reading this one book. It's called something about the marriage lie. The marriage lie. I forget who the author is, but it's so funny because the author lady, she mentioned that in my college days, you know, I was all about quote unquote the feminism thing. But now that, you know, I'm married, I'm all about inclusion. Right. I'm all about no, I tap back into my feminine energy, right? I was kind of taken apart from that because I'm like, a lot of us want to say that, oh, I'm not going to be like my parent. I'm not going to be like my parent. But are we actually stopping and really, are we actually saying that to say, or do we really understand what it means by I don't want to be like this person? Because you cannot stand at 30 or 31 and say, I don't want to be like this person. I don't understand how much you've soaked in for the past 30 years and how much you have to unlearn to even say that. All up until you find yourself in the same, in that situation and you're doing the same thing and the machine keeps going and going, right? Just something to call out there, right? But just along those lines again, Tayo, if you may, I mean, Tutu seen you looking at her, sideways, like, what's she talking about? The concepts of settling down between our parents and Gen Zs, it's a lot different. A lot of even if it's an arranged marriage, they're still all about let's go see the parents before you even move into the
tradition.
Yeah, all that stuff. But now it's easy. I mean, now it has gotten a lot light, using the word sparingly, to the point that it's easy now for man, woman to do the count state thing, right? And stuff like that. So if you may, in your experience, what's the difference there? Like, what do you see just along the lines of what Tutu and Teresa have been talking about?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense of marriage, or settling down, I mean, back then, I mean, you always want to get to know the two of the families. It was always that thing where it was like you had to have, like, let's say if it was like an exam in your family, you had to have majority that was favoring you or agreeing with the person you want to marry, and seeing that this is a good fit for you. Whereas now today, people may not, people still hold respect to that of some of the culture and family, but I'll probably say not as much as back then, to where they're like, I'm just doing this traditional marriage because I know this is part of the culture, but if not for that, I wouldn't do it. So I don't think, some people don't really are really putting the thought or the meaning behind it of seeing the value of some of the principles that our parents did, where it was like, hey, I just happen to be Nigerian. This is what we do. After that, I can care less for all of the other stuff. So I feel like, and then so I feel like nowadays people are just kind of like going through some of the motions, and then they're just like, I mean, hey, if I see who I like, I mean, I'm not going to be oblivious to not let my family or people know, but if it was up to me, they probably wouldn't, do the traditional. But I mean, me personally, I still feel like there's still a lot of valuable lessons and culture in that, being able, growing up in a two-parent household and seeing, the fruits of the ups and downs, and knowing, what it is to be raised like in a big family, from cousins and everybody being together. So I still see that as something that I believe is still a positive, whereas I feel like today's times, a lot of people kind of get away from that, where it's like, I'm doing my own thing, I'm successful, I don't really need all the family support. I can do this, with me and my partner.
Just with that too, I think that as times change, a few things to change with time, right? You hold on to some things and then you also let go of some things. I don't know. Family structures and dynamics are different. I mean, all four of us here from different families. None of us, our families are the same. So when it comes to that, it takes a village to raise a child. Maybe in your own, you don't really have that village, right? And in my own, I have as much of a village, that I can't even, things like that. So it's also knowing what your family trajectory is like, understanding that. But most importantly too, I don't know. A lot changed, especially when it comes to like marriage in itself, like the whole paying for it, things, the financial aspect of it. Now it's become something about competition, you know. And then not even just that is when you are doing that, have you actually vetted in terms of, some people go for marriage counseling, right, to make sure that it's the right fit. Some people have
Yes.
those impactful conversations, those conversations that are necessary, right? Not walking on like eggshells and things like that, right? So I feel as though them folks back then, um, even as much as they were avoiding it, but they were cutthroat, like they were real, the conversations as compared to now that it's like not as much. I don't know. But
I don't know. I think I disagree with that, AK. Um, because I mean, I would assume that most of us are millennials here, right? I think as much as every generation has its own challenges that are peculiar to them, right? Sometimes we sit and we say, you have that village, right? But how much knowledge is that village giving you? It's not just about support, right? There's this tendency I found out with like, let's just say relationship as a whole, right? People tend to support you and give you advice, but they're not truthful with what the experience of it is. You have somebody who's been married for 15 years. They're not going to put you down and tell you the truth. They're just, oh, marriage is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Sometimes you have a disagreement. That shit is way more than that. They're not honest enough to transfer and sit you down and say, you know what? Sometimes you want to wake up and kill this man. And so we grow up as a millennial. Let me speak for myself. You grow up with this fairy tale mindset of what a relationship or having a man is supposed to look like, right? You're supposed to be happy, you have kids and all, but they're not telling you the real struggles behind the door. Some of us, even with our own parents, if we're being honest, some of our parents had no business and still have no business being together. They do not. Look at our grandparents. Half your uncle, nobody knows who their father is. Grandmama was sneaking around. But your grandfather raised them as their own. Y'all didn't find out till at the funeral. But guess what? We would be celebrating. You'll be like, oh, my parents have been married for 50 years. What kind of 50 years is it? Or how I always ask. What kind of 50 years? Because that generation, they were used to, like, this is a duty. We just gonna stay together till we die and stuff. But it's like, what kind of 50 years is this? Oh, my parents have a wonderful marriage. Then you come and find out that your dad cheated on your mom and has like 3 babies somewhere, and you're devastated. Now you're looking at your own husband sideways because you thought that. I just feel like at the end of the day, if we are not passing down these struggles, quote unquote, hidden struggles that we have, that village is of no use to me. It really is not. They're not telling you the truth about pregnancies and childbirth.
True.
That pregnancy would damn near kill you. They're not telling you about none of that until you get pregnant and you start finding out all these things and you ask your mom, oh yeah, I had that when I was pregnant with you, bro. Isn't that something you should have told me when do you understand what I'm saying? If you have your sister, ask them. So it's like, what good is this village if y'all are hiding shit or not, if we're not talking about things? And so to me, that changes my perspective a lot. And while our parents had what they have, when I say that I don't want to be like my parents, they had good things going for them. I want to take that. But before I say something like that, y'all be honest with me and really tell me how being married to my dad is.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what that. I'm not saying spill your marital secrets or so, but give me the 101. Don't just tell me, oh, marriage is perseverance. That shit don't help me.
But I think one thing over time, T, is like, as much as, and I mean, everybody might not have been fortunate to be in this situation though, but like, as much as we will want direct answers, I think sometimes it's like, I feel like as we got older, you can just start to like realize and see things through actions. So certain stuff that we may have wanted to get from our parents, you realized over time, like, yo, when dad does this and mom reacts like that, she don't like that. This has been going on for a minute. They still love each other, but this pisses her off. Or well, mom is always doing this, dad is like, you know what, he's going upstairs. He's like, I'm good. So I feel like over time, at least for me, certain things that maybe I wanted to ask or I didn't know over time, I got to learn that yeah, they've been married 40 years deep, but it's not all roses. Like, it's times where my pops is like, yeah, you know what? I'm sleeping on the couch. Like, I don't want to fight. I don't want no war. I'm gonna cause peace. And it's times where my mom want to pull my dad's hair out, but she's just like, hey, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? Him and his news, I don't get it, but I'm gonna just go and watch my Yoruba film. So like, I feel like for me, I've been privileged over the years or over these last 5 to 8 years of my life. I feel like I've learned so much more than I probably learned from the beginning, just seeing how compatible my parents are in regards to their relationship. So I think, I mean, everybody might not be able to voice that out, but I feel like if you pay attention and be able to see it, and sometimes it might be indirectly, you might not get it straight from your parents. The one thing I learned in African household, ask the brother, ask the sister. They will let you know. So you want to know something about your dad? Go to the uncle. Go to your. So say, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it might not always be the direct approach where you'll get the best, but if you go to that related family member, they'll spill the beans and let you know. And then it's for you to use your own judgment and be like, okay, now I know. When mom does this, when pops is like that, I can see some tendencies and take that for what it is and use that. I'm saying, for yourself when it comes to relationships and how to deal with stuff.
I mean, sometimes like I agree with the sometimes go into the relatives or go to the aunties or uncles or even like the godparents, whatever, to like see how, because when you get married, is you have that whole circle of, oh, I have the godparents, I have the godmommy and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes that shit don't work at all because they all just be covering for your parents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I agree with T when she says like, just tell me the truth, because as I've gotten older now, I be looking at shit and I be like, oh hell nah. Like I can't do this shit in my marriage at all. Absolutely not. Cause like now when I was younger, I never really used to like really sit and think about like what my parents be going through. But like as I got older and I see stuff, I be seeing like my dad be stressed out because of something my mom do or something that my mom does, like, and it like pisses my dad off. It's just a lot. And I be looking at like, oh, like, nah, this ain't it. This is really not it. But then not even just speaking on my mom, but like what T was saying, like, just be honest. Don't sit there and try to make it seem like everything is all peachy and fine when it's really not. Like, they would sit there because, like I keep saying, I have witnessed times where, like, back home when I went to Sierra Leone, they had like a whole little meeting for one of my aunts and them, and she was having marital issues, and it was like her husband was beating on her, and the elders was like, oh, not phobia, ush, like basically just kind of sweep it under the rug, like, oh, you gotta just be okay with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, at the end of the day, why do I have to sit there and tolerate that bullshit? Or why y'all not putting a stop to this? You get what I'm saying? So I feel like just be honest and just let it be like, why do you guys keep saying, oh, your husband loves you, and even though it's not right, you shouldn't leave him? Like, that shit don't make no type of sense at all, because I mean, I just don't understand. So I feel like when T's saying the whole, be honest and let me know how it is, even with the whole pregnancy thing, or even things as a woman, like what we go through and stuff like that. I don't know half of the shit until I actually go through it. Why you didn't tell me this earlier? Yeah. Like, why don't I know this about marriage, or why don't I know this about relationships, or why don't I know this about pregnancy, all types of stuff, until, like T said, I'm going through it, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, well, I suffer from it too. It shouldn't be like that. Like, no, tell me about that stuff. But they feel like as if, oh, it's better for you not to know, in a sense, because that way, I don't know what their mindset is, but I think sometimes I just go back and be saying it's the African mentality.
Let's role play. Let's role play real quick, right?
Okay.
Real quick. T and Tutu.
Yes.
Cool. So let's say, for example, you guys are parents now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's say, for example, you got parents now. Let's get into a scenario base. So, Tutu, your daughter, you found out your daughter just started having sex. How would you approach that? That's your scenario. And T, your scenario is, you found out your daughter who is 17 years of age is dating a guy who is 37 years old, and she
Hey.
off with a guy. So, who wants to go first? Let's see what you guys do.
Woo!
Me, I'm going to the police first and foremost. Let's
Minor.
start there. There's no other. That's a minor. Your ass is going to jail.
Facts.
That's it. End of story.
Wow, that's
Next scenario.
She said, I'm going
Crazy
straight
work.
to the police.
Okay, for me,
And then sorry, Tutu, let me say this
Right.
before we move on, right? Let it not look like first of all, if there's a scenario like that, I start looking at where I was deficient as a parent, right?
Mhm.
Because for a girl to have to go look for it's not just for the status, oh, this man is 35. There's something she's looking for in that man. And she obviously is not getting it from me or her dad.
Correct.
So I will have to eat a huge piece of humble pie and figure out what is it where am I missing this? If it's a girl, it's definitely something I'm not giving her at home. That's where I would start. Then we can work it out as we go. But that would be a huge come to Jesus moment for me as a parent.
yeah. For me, my sister, I agree with T. Child. I want to say that I wouldn't overreact, but I'd be like,
Your
huh?
face already says it.
Woo! Because I'm gonna be like, why the fuck are you fucking at 15? Like, why?
Oh.
Like, why? I wasn't even fucking at 15. But at the end of the day, I've learned that my childhood, I gave my parents hell. So at this point,
So you're reaping what you say.
I can't. Okay, listen, and that's why I be scared. I'm scared when I have a kid that my child is gonna be just like me, rebellious. But I've learned that if it does happen, okay, for one, make sure that my child is okay. Are you having protective sex? Like, how did this even come about? For one, did you protect yourself at least? You know, and like then actually sit down and talk to her. Like, okay, mom to daughter, woman to woman, like what exactly is it that made you want to go ahead and just say, hey, this is what I want to do? Like, actually talk to me. Because obviously there's something, if you want to start at the age of 15, or because you see your friends, because you have to have these conversations. Maybe she sees her friends in school, they're having sex. So she also wants to go ahead and fit in with the group with like, oh yeah, so my friend is having sex, so I want to go ahead and try. Like, what's the point? I'm not going to sit here and really like, oh my God, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, because eventually it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's just unfortunate that it happened at 15. But at least, hey, I'm going to sit you down and let you know, listen, young girl, I'm too cute and I'm too young to be a grandmother at a young age, for one, okay? So that's that. For two, I feel like as if, let me tell you what's going to happen if you decide to go ahead and keep having sex. You either going to get pregnant or something worse can happen. So I need you to know, like, basically just really have a conversation with her and just be like, listen.
But I got a question for T and Tutu. So I've heard of the saying that they normally say like, yo, when a girl gets a period, she can have a baby. So just staying in line of what we're saying, like, what was that experience for y'all? Like when y'all first went through that process, did y'all mothers like break it down to you what's going on with your bodies and what can happen to that next level, or did they just cover it up and just left the two separate? Because they normally make it seem like once that happens, you know, you're an adult now, like, you know. So did they paint it like that, or was it just like, you know?
That's part one. And part two to that question is, if you had to do a redo, would you come back again as a woman?
Okay.
Tutu, go ahead first. This has me heated.
Woo, child. Okay. So my mom never had that talk with me about the period. And it was so crazy because I don't even remember what age I got it, but I got it young. But I remember all my friends had got it. And I was asking my mom like every week, like, well, mommy, when am I going to get mine? When am I going to get mine? Which is so crazy because I just felt like I was late or something. It was so, and my mom kept telling me like, don't worry, when your own comes, like you should enjoy that. You should enjoy that you don't have it, because when you get it, it's not going to be all flowers and peaches. Like, it's not. So stop asking for that shit and just enjoy your childhood. And bam, I got it. Like, she never told me, oh, when you get your period, You can start having sex. I don't even think I had the conversation with my mom about sex until I went off into like college.
Hold on. Do you have older sisters, Tutu?
Yeah, I do. But like my sister, she has 3 kids. But like it was, we never had that conversation.
There was a gap in age.
Yeah, like my sister's older. My sister's like what, 30, sister's like 37, 36, 37. So like we never had that conversation.
Girl, that's not old. I was waiting to hear like 50 or something.
Right.
No. When you're a kid, that's
yeah,
old.
but like she was
Oh,
like,
when you were a kid, she was 37?
No, my sister's 37 right now.
They're like a 7-year gap, if I'm not mistaken.
So like
that's a big gap.
Yeah, so my sister, she was having sex, and she obviously had kids and stuff like that. But my mom never sat down and was like, "Oh, you see your sister just having kids? Don't do this." She never did that. It wasn't until like I left for school in North Carolina where my mom was like, and she didn't even she was like, "Please don't come in here. I don't want your father to kill me and you. Like, don't come in here pregnant." That's what she literally just said. She was like, "Don't come here pregnant. I don't want your dad to kill you or I." And And that's when we had the whole birth control talk. Like, it wasn't never, yeah, this is what's gonna happen if you so and so. But I already had sex at the time. But like, yeah. So it was just, I don't know. It's just, we never had that talk. And if I could, I keep saying this all the time. I only said that I would come back as a man when I be having my periods. Because them bitches be taking me out. But other than that, yeah, I would come back as a woman. I would.
So wait. Okay, no mind. See, go ahead. Come back.
Yeah, I'm in Tutu, same boat with Tutu, right? And mine was worse because I'm the first girl after boys. And no, I did not have that talk. My period came to me as a surprise even. Yeah, and it was weird. I had the signs and I was just like, "Oh, what is this?" My mom just looked and she was like, "Oh, looks like you're about to have your period." I'm like, "Hey, how can you tell off of this?" "Oh, that's how mine started."
Like,
I was like, okay. And I remember very well because she was going, I think it was for a funeral or something where she had to go spend the night or whatever. So I slept in my brother's room. And my period came that night. So what is funny?
You left him the Red Sea on his bed.
Did your brother come home?
My brother was the one who woke me up. Because he had woken up and he woke me up and he was like, "You need to get up and go to the bathroom." And I'm like, "What?" Huh?
Did you touch your brother?
I don't know. He was already up, so I don't know. I did not ask those. I was already embarrassed as it was. And I woke up in a pool and I was livid.
Oh.
Yeah, because I didn't wear any sanitary napkin. I didn't know it was coming.
Hey.
And it was my brother, and he looked at me. He was like, "Do you know what to do?" Then he had a girlfriend. He was like, "I can ask her to come and talk to you about it." I was so embarrassed. I said, "Yes, I know what to do." And so he took the beddings and everything. I went and watched, but I never had that talk. That was it. My mom came and I told her, and she was like, "Oh, you got it. Okay, cool." That was the end of the conversation. There was not sitting down and telling you, "Okay, you know what? You'll be safe at this times," and mind you, going down the line, I come to find out I had severe menstrual cramps. That shit can take me out. Come to find out, this woman, after I've had it for like years, after I was just like, "Oh, don't worry, we'll pass. It's just one," that type of, that their laissez-faire type generation thing. "Oh, it's what women do." Just for her to come and tell me, "Oh, that's how mine was until I had you kids." Now you tell me this shit about to take me the fuck out, like,
until you have kids.
And then, and then talking about the boys and the stuff, and all she would say is, "I didn't get to go to school because I was married and I had kids. So I've given you the opportunity. You have the opportunity to go and study. You can do that, or you can have kids. It's your future. It's your life. That was it. And I took that shit and I ran with it. Because the last thing on my mind was, I do not want to be like my mother and not go to school because I got some damn babies.
Okay. Yeah.
That shit was, I did not even date until I was my last year in uni.
Wow.
I did not play that game. Don't talk to me. I have an education to get. I'm not going to play this game with you. All my friends were having sex. They will come sit talk about it. I will have it when I'm ready.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was it for me. It was the fear of, they're going to say, her mom didn't go to school and then they're going to come and say that about me over my dead body.
So just curious, you finally did it. What was that?
Yeah?
Like?
The what?
Finish. I was
I don't know what he's trying to ask.
Sorry,
but yeah.
We've asked that on the previous episode.
Just ask the question. Let's keep it moving.
It will take the conversation left. So
okay. Yeah, but then to your second part, if I would come back as a woman, I will. Because I have, let me not say I have double. I grew up in this, for the majority of my life, in a single parent home, right? I heard that run with that. I saw what it took for a woman to play a woman's role and a man's role, and that shit nearly took my mom out. And I do not, as much as I run my mouth, I do not take the role of a man lightly, and that is a burden I do not want to carry.
Hey.
I know what it means to be able to provide. I know what it means for you to be accountable for people. That's the kind of burden I do not want in my life. Kudos to the men that do it. That I don't want it. I don't want that kind of burden, because I've been in places where I'm like, I'm tight and I'm strapped, and then maybe my brothers or my uncle, for example, I know they're strapped too, but you know what?
What do you mean by strap?
I'm strapped for cash. Jesus Christ, what are you thinking?
Oh, I thought you meant strap. Like, damn, y'all some killers.
Wow, tight, man.
He said, I was tight. I'm strapped. I'm like,
I was tight for cash. But then I will see them give up that last bread for me. And I'm like, how you finna work it out? Don't worry about it. I got this. And you think I'm finna come back and be a man? Fuck that.
Thank you, man. It's not easy.
I'm not. I enjoy the perks and the benefits of being a woman. I'm not coming as a man. I am not.
But you know what's funny? If you asked us the same question, I don't want to come here as a woman, just for one simple.
Hell no.
I don't want to do it. That's my only reason. I don't want it. Yes.
If they remove the period, will you come?
No, I don't want to be.
I'll come.
Say there was no pregnancy. Say pregnancy and period was optional. Say two couples come and they decide, okay, who carry, for example. Would you come as a woman?
No, seriously, I like my organs hanging outside versus sticking inside.
I hear you on that part. That right there is a big benefit.
Yeah.
I digress. Let's go back. But for you guys though, because I know for us, like in the African home, right? It's mostly the girls. They be like, "Oh, don't go and get pregnant. Do this." But I don't remember a time. My mom said, "Oh, if you like, you want to impregnate a girl or whatever." It's very casual and laissez-faire.
For the guys, right?
They be so calm. Boys, it don't even make no sense. My brothers never got that talk. They never got the like. My dad was so strict on us girls. It was like, oh, don't do this. You have to go to school. You have to do this. Da 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 da. But my brothers, like, it was just very calm and cool. Like, oh, just go to school. Sports, soccer. Like, it was never. Oh, I'm very, very strict on how I am.
I've been seeing you with that girl. Okay, that's it. If they even catch you with a boy standing somewhere, you are in trouble. But how was it? Did you guys ever have that talk at all as boys?
I'll go in like, so the first time I even got thrown in the conversation, it was indirectly. my dad was given to talk to my sisters, talking about the special lock and giving them the speech. And then I just happened to be around, and he just threw me in there and was like, Tyle, even at his age, like, I'm like, mind you, I'm like 12, 13. He can go and impregnate a woman. And I look back and like, what? Where did that come from? Like, I wasn't even in this. And then the only other time it came back up again was like, I think I was like 14 when I got, well, I won't say caught, but they saw me with condoms. Like my dad saw condoms and money in my room, and we had a big discussion. And at that time, like that was like my main discussion that I had. Like that was the only one I had.
What did he say in that discussion? I'm just curious.
Well, this was a family discussion, so everybody went in. Mind you, I'm the third born, so two.
Oh, so it wasn't you. See, that's the problem. When it's the boy, everybody looks. If it's a girl, we carry you under the stairs. It
was so deep that my dad was like, after church, we're all having discussion. Straight. And I had a younger sister. She was the only one that was not in the room. It's like I was in court and I was on trial. And I'm not even gonna lie, man. That day I cried because these niggas grilled me, and I was like, yo, I didn't even have sex. And these niggas were like, do you know what you can catch? Tyle, at your age, what are you doing? My mom was just going crazy. My dad is, mind you, when I was young, I used to sell candy, so I had like a lot of money. So from my dad, he was probably thinking, condoms, money? Oh, hell no, what's going on? and I'm just like, bro, you know I sell candy, bro. So I'm not on the street or nothing like that. But that day, nah, man, I got the whole from the, like, you shouldn't be doing it. You're too young. You don't know diseases. Like, and the main thing my dad said growing up, like, we never really had the discussion, but he would always just say, your book is your girlfriend. So before my dad went to Nigeria when I was like 15, 16, like I ain't had no girlfriend. You barely saw me with any girl in my dad's presence, because it was like he was that parent where at summertime, me and all my siblings, we in the house. Like we ain't going read your book during the summertime. Like, what you mean you want to go outside and play? Like we was on lockdown. Like even our friends in church knew that. Damn, you go to the Arunja household? Yeah, man, you ain't going nowhere. Hey, Tyler, can you come out? I'm sorry, bro. You know, my dad's home. When he about to go out, I got you. I'm going to be outside. So, I mean, so far as like the talk, he always just diverted it and was just like, your book is your girlfriend. Your book is your girlfriend. But for me, I was just like, okay. I mean, you know, I took it like that. But at the same time, you know, curiosity and stuff, not really making the conversation deeper. When he wasn't around, you know, I experimented on my own. So that was
at least he told you your book is your girlfriend, because till this day, me that's about to be 31, my dad don't even want to hear the thought of sex, marriage, none of that. Like, I think my dad still looks at me as a little girl. Like, he still thinks I'm his baby. So, like,
you're the last born, right? The girl?
No, I'm the second eldest.
Oh, second, okay.
But, like, I was the rebellious one. So, in his head, he probably knows that I have cut up. But, like, anytime, like, we'll talk about, like, my mom would sit there and be like, oh, yeah, when you get married, we're going to be planning this and da-da-da-da-da. And my dad would be like, I don't want to hear it. I don't know if it's like he don't want to let go. Like, I think that's what it is. Like a daddy's girl type of thing. But, like, so even if I was to even think about opening my mouth to even talk about I got a boyfriend or I'm having sex, that nigga will fucking lose it. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just a.
No, it's not. It's funny. It's funny that, to me, right, that they always say that, oh, I can't wait for you to get married. With what? With what skills? Like, you lock me up in the basement. You don't want me to have sex, to talk to a boy, but then you want me to get married and be successful at it. Like, how? How's that supposed to work?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't
explain that to me. Like, I'm not saying that we should be out here doing all this, but it's funny that I think it's just funny to me that for the most part, right, we get taught all these things, but yet they don't teach us how to be good partners. Like, our mothers don't sit us down and teach us how to be the woman of the house. Our fathers don't put and teach us and say how to be. I feel like
they do. My bad. If I can say it, T, I think, in my opinion, I feel like it was indirectly. So they never had that conversation, but in my house, it was always like, my dad would always say like, oh, you'll realize one day when you have your own place, when you're on your own, when it comes to the sense of like cleaning, when it comes to the sense of
Mm-hmm.
cooking. So like the natural skills that you need to learn to, I guess, kind of survive by yourself. And I guess, eventually two individuals become one, you will have to learn certain skills. So they never came out and said, these are the skills you need for marriage, but they taught us like, you should clean up after yourself. My sisters or my mom, she would
But
call
is
them
that
and
really
say, "Oh,
education though? If it's indirect?
yeah, I mean,
And a lot of things, I agree with you. A lot
if
of
you're
things
able
in
to
African homes.
grasp it, it's education. If you don't grasp it, then you just missed it. But if you're able to get the concept, then I believe it's
But it's
helpful.
not, that's what I'm saying, right? It's not, sometimes it's not for the lack thereof. It's the inefficiency of it, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're just throwing jabs, oh, that's how you go and do in your husband's house, sleep till 12. They'll
Oh
throw
no,
jabs
yeah,
like that,
yeah. That's
But
not
like
helping.
the essence of it, and then it's kind of hard, especially to watch somebody that's not an open book. Our parents used to, they used to live as though marriage was a what they call this thing in the scandal. It's like you're an MI6 or some shit. Everything's behind closed doors.
What's funny?
So how
So
What's funny? I actually
Mhm.
appreciated the fact that they did that,
how so?
because if they didn't do that, it would have given room for me to hate one of them. I mean, like, genuinely hate one of them, because I would not understand why one person
I get
this
what you're
or
saying.
that. But
Oh
again,
no
it's not
no.
my problem, because my brain is
Mm-hmm.
not developed enough to understand what it is that both of them is going through at that given point in time. I'm only seeing
Mhm.
outside perspective. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then it's like, as I'm growing and I'm also experiencing things myself, I'm like, now I see why. Now I understand why certain things
Mhm.
shielded over me. Because at that point in time, I had no business dealing with that. I had one thing, education, right? Let me get my
Right.
education done, and then I'll be able to deal with some of these things. So I was actually appreciative of the fact that that was so. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean?
But you're making my point for me though, right? To what I'm saying, that indirectly, like it's hidden at that point. How do I say this? Not that they should have lived their life as an open book, right? Because at the end of the day, these are parents and this is married folk business, right? I don't want to see everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was just saying that they're in MI6 in reference to Tayo's point, say you can watch them do that. You watch, you're not going to see anything because
but
they are,
but to that,
you will watch, but it will not make sense. Like you said, at that, you're 12, 13, nobody thinking about, I'm getting prepared to get married. I wasn't thinking about
Yeah,
that.
our mind is nowhere.
later, right? It makes sense later. Like
It does. Some of it
It
does.
hits later, right?
you asking for you asking for information that, if it's given to you at that point in time, you literally have no use for it. You have no use for it. Like, what are you about to do with it? Then later on, you grow up, you have your own experiences, and then those experiences tie to that, and then you start formulating different ideas of what you want to do for yourself and things like that. And to me, I feel as though it hardens you, it pre-hardens you before you even get to that hardened part. It's like pre-shock before shock. Me personally, I don't want to deal with none of that. I don't want to hear it. Just let me be the child I want, that I'm supposed to be,
Yeah.
and just enjoy my childhood peacefully. You guys do whatever it is you want to do, not my problem, because again, there will come my own turn.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But again, like Ty was saying, they will tell you some things indirectly. Why? Because again, as a kid, I'm not about to sit there and listen to all of this. I did not have the patience to listen to none of that. All I'm thinking about is, I want to play soccer.
Yes, let me play my game.
Or I want to go out. I want to
You
just
appreciate it now. It's like, because
yeah.
And my bad. Were you done?
No, go ahead.
And I was going to say, I think now I can look back and I really appreciate it. Even then, I could appreciate it because I don't know. I believe we all might have known or knew someone in school or had a friend where they weren't privileged to be able to live like a kid, and their structure or household, they had to be one of the parents where they got younger siblings and after school they can't play outside. Oh, I got to watch my 8-year-old, my 5-year-old and do this. So, seeing people who were already basically being adults, like you're not even old enough legally to work, but you're working. You know what I'm saying? You got to provide. So seeing that at a young age, it did let me know too, where it's like, dang, I get allowance for cutting this. You actually out here, you got to work because your family needs this. So it's like, I think you do take an appreciation at the same time where it's like, I do appreciate you for letting me be a kid and letting me grow into these things. Because if we really think about it, most of these experiences and stuff, like we said, we didn't really start formulating or getting questions until probably like about our college years. So for the most part, as a parent, you've done your part. For the first 18 years, if your child can say they lived and they did not have to go through any hardship or dramatic of, them feeling like they weren't a child and throwing them into the workforce or things of that nature, then I believe to a certain standard, you did your job. Now, when they have questions, you're in college and all that. Now, as a parent, you're like, okay, you're at this age, let's sit down. But like AK said, I mean, we didn't even fathom to think about these things. Like I said, even me, and my dad being around, I wasn't really thinking about girls. Like my friends were saying it, but my dad never, just let me know, hey, your book is your girlfriend. And I knew how strict he was that I would never even think or fathom to try to bring a girl near the house. Also, I know I'm dead. So, I mean, I think, every parent, they have their way of trying to let us enjoy being a kid, but also still scolding us and letting us know, like we said earlier, indirectly, like, these are things that I'm teaching you. You don't need to know about everything, but take it this way. And then as we got older, I realized, right. And then as we got older, we now remembered and was like, oh, so that's why. Okay, I get it. So
to that question, if I had to answer that question, or as I'm answering that question, oh, they did their best they could, man. Not even gonna lie.
Facts. Yeah. I don't blame them at all.
But AK was and still just
AK was what? AK was a wild boy.
AK was and still his own. He has his own brain. You know what I mean? It's just I hear you, but
I hear you.
You're quite all right, but
hey, bro, we all went through that.
That thing is calling my name, so I don't know what you. I hear you, but I still have to go and try it for myself. I see what's happening there. So I think that at some point in time, they realized that, I will go and do and come and collect my beatings. At the end of the day, that's all you do, right? So that's all you do.
Major beating.
Yeah. So once I figured that out, that hey, this guy will come and collect his cane and go and sleep and wake up and do it all over again. Now it became that point now where they're actually having serious conversations, like
correct. You can't use the cane.
Yeah, like they're using examples. Look at this guy, look at that guy, look at things for me to better understand. But for me, myself and I, my parents really didn't have to do much because I'm a curious person, and I'll ask. Like for example, I asked my mom not too long ago, like, "Yo, you and Pops to have sex?"
You said that?
Yeah, everybody looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I said, "Bro, don't you have sex?" So you really look at these two people, you think that now, as all of a sudden, they're done. Like, what? Like, that's just foolish. Like, imagine yourself at 50, you're trying to tell yourself that you're done. Like, what kind of shit is that? They're human beings too. So, you guys do it. Not only that, what's your guys' favorite? What's the position that you guys will not do? Absolutely. Because now that you guys have gone.
I know damn well you did not ask.
Hold on. Where are you in the order of the family, AK? What number are you?
He's the rebel. That's all you need to know. You just said that.
You're 4 out of 4?
Out of 6.
Oh, okay. So I want to say, for you to ask that question, are you
Did they answer your question?
Huh?
Did they answer your question?
Me and my mom, we have a very open, communication thing. And she was like, "Do I look like a stick?" And I said, "Good question."
Those are the kind of things that I'm talking about, right? Because
but were you bold enough to ask those questions,
like, don't ask. But it's like, when I get to 50, I want to know out sometimes, like I want to imagine what it would look like when I get to 50, right? I remember the one time my mom said to me, she's like, "Well, your generation is very lucky. You guys get to hold hands and kiss." And I'm like, that's my ear. And my friends were home, and we were like, we're all looking at like she's like, yeah. When she's like, in my time, we didn't get to hold hands and kiss with our man. He just comes and touches you when it's time to get pregnant.
Hey.
You know what's crazy? I always wanted to ask, but I just don't. As much as I talk, I don't have the balls in me to even ask. I be wondering, do parents like do they suck dick?
Hey,
have y'all never thought about that?
It's very
You
possible.
not think about that?
Yes.
Like, do you wonder?
No, never.
I don't.
I've never thought of that. Not my parents.
I do be thinking.
Never that.
You've never thought of it, Tayo. You've never thought of it, and you are kiki haha.
You never thought.
And you are looking to get to your parents'
I be sitting here thinking like, damn, like, oh my god, this is so much. Like, oh my god, I hope my mama suck dick.
Based off the statement that T made, how could you even fathom to even think of that?
Tayo, wait. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. At this given juncture in your life right now, be honest.
Okay.
Be honest with us.
Okay.
How old is the oldest woman you fucked in your life?
Maybe like,
I thought he was at 47.
I don't know, maybe like 37, 38.
How old were you?
I sit that one place I've been thinking, so I'm better to do your life. Let's continue the session. Sorry to continue excitement. You've just ruined my own excitement for no reason.
No, I just be sitting here thinking like, because this generation, obviously, everybody be talking about sucking dick and giving head and all that stuff. But I be thinking, do like African older parents, do they like?
I feel like it's even a taboo when people, African people, talk about that.
They say it's a taboo. You are not there behind closed doors because at the end of the day, I feel like
I'm not saying they don't do it. I'm
just saying I'm making my own point, right? They are humans and they derive pleasures too.
Correct.
And so they make do with what they have. I'm sure they please themselves.
Oh, you put it in African functions. You see all these aunties, they be acting like they don't drink alcohol and all whatnot. You think that it's because they really don't drink alcohol?
No, they drink. I've seen them take cases, bro. Cases.
Have you seen, bro? I've seen where this one auntie handled this uncle like this behind the event. You know, this event behind. She did work like this, boy. I don't see. They were calling me to go. I said, no, boy, I must watch this show. I must watch this show. I'm peeping. I'm sorry to say this, but I was peeping. Yes, I was. Because
you said I was the peeping Tom.
I was speechless, man. I couldn't believe she was.
You said at an African function,
at an African function.
I mean, how you think your grandma had 9 children?
Exactly.
9, 10.
I didn't think they were doing that at African functions. I thought they were doing it in the house.
Listen, we're just looking at it because they're our parents, right? It's human instinct and nature. Those things, I don't think it changes.
Are you there?
Irrespective.
Are you there?
No, I'm not there. Like you said,
I don't want to be there. Like, just even thinking about it just making me so sad. Like,
I just feel like most of our parents' generation.
Y'all are so old.
Do you think you got here?
Well, no, like I know, obviously, like I know. Please, I've had my fair share. I have heard things, so I am okay. Like I am perfectly okay. But I don't know. It's just different when it's your parents. Like it's like. Oh,
yeah, I feel like if they were more affectionate and I saw more stuff like that, maybe curiosity would have been like, okay, you know, dad is always rubbing mom, spanking her, doing. But the fact I didn't see none of that, and the fact that most of our parents' generation, we've heard, or they just looked at it in a sense of like, we're having sex just to procreate. I never really heard from my parents' generation like they did it as a casual, this is what we like doing. It was like, if you have sex, you're getting kids.
Say, we are going to take
so that's why my mind never really.
Hello. What was up?
Hello.
That's why my mind never went there. Because once the last born was born in the family, I can't remember ever seeing my dad do something towards my mom that was sexual that made me think like, oh, he about to get something. Like, like after the kids were done.
If my dad was dark, if my dad was so dark the previous night, when I mean dark, I mean like he was upset, like twisting his face like this. And then all of a sudden wake up in the morning and he's all smiling. Nigga, that shit didn't go away just like that.
Okay, listen. If I try to walk into my parents' door and that door is jammed, let me just leave the house. Y'all can have it. It's okay. Y'all have it. It's okay.
I mean, the only time I can think of is maybe once. I know when I was a kid, I think I had a nightmare, and I remember I went into my parents' room, and I slept, and I was going to lay down next to my mom, And my dad was like, "Nigga, what the hell you doing? Get your ass out of the bed."
Get your ass out.
That's the only time I could probably think of, like, this nigga maybe was like, "Nigga, I need to be with my wife. Like, you got your own bed." But other than that, I never saw it. Like,
Oh, I had no illusions from when I was young. I think I had worked in on my parents. So
and then also my younger sister used to
no
sleep
illusions
with my
whatsoever.
dad until like 5. So I'm like, I know they weren't doing nothing because my younger sister's in the room sleeping with them.
They were, I bet your ass they were doing it while she was asleep.
While she was there.
Trust me.
My sister actually, like,
trust me, I have memories
that
of
shit
that.
happened. We were in Africa, but it wasn't my parents.
You were that child.
It was my aunt. It was my aunt and them. And my sister said she was sleeping on the ground in Africa. And she literally like woke up and she caught my uncle and aunt like doing it. And she just had to like force herself to sleep. I said, "Hey, yo, this is
that's wild."
Yeah. You haven't lived in your childhood though, because me, I walked in.
My mom.
I didn't walk in.
I walked in and said, "Oh God, I'm so sorry." I thought I was gonna get beat after that shit. I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." And I walked in and I left the house.
No, the most was maybe coming in. I think my dad was in the room. Maybe he didn't have his towel on, and I saw him, and he was just like, "Yo, what are you doing? Don't you knock?" And I'm just like, "Oh, my bad." You know what I mean? But
Listen,
man on man.
little wind flow. Like if I say somebody is having sex somewhere in the house, I'm going to the kitchen and grabbing me a cup. And I'm gonna put you on the wall like this and
hell no.
Guy, AK was really curious. AK was.
I want to hear the sounds that have done.
No,
you're the reason I will be playing Luther Vandross bumping music.
When next time you come, you to beat on me. I'll just the minute you swing that the minute you lash that you whip me, I'll just make that funny sound that you make it. Hey, you'll be confused why I got that sound.
Right. So, like, bringing this whole thing full circle, right? I want to ask everyone a question, though.
Sure.
Like, seeing, like, just getting snippets of how, everyone grew up with imparting, like, relational knowledge and whatnot. Like, where do you think that your parents failed and helped you with, like, giving you tips that, like, life skills or personal development, teaching you things that are helping you in dating? Like, what did you get from them that has been dysfunctional in your relationships now? Pretty much. And then the good part.
So good or bad?
Yeah.
I guess I go first. The good part, for the most part, is be that provider, right? Be the provider of the home, the protector of the home. Be the provider of the home, the protector of the home. Love, right? Love, which that one is like love, not just for your spouse, but for family in general. You know what I mean? That means that the home needs to be open for others who are less privileged to come in and be able to be humane. You know what I mean? To feel like a human, right? Help. Education, things like that, food. My mom used to work a lot and distribute that stuff, man. It used to piss me off. But later on in life, I understood why she did that. So having that realization was really big for me. I don't know. When it comes to like love in itself, they really didn't equip me much with it. I had to learn much of it on my own, the little that I know. But in terms of just that unionship between them, that respect within the house, yeah, we got a lot of that. There was a lot of shielding, like, yo, everything is good. But you look at somebody else, you're like, nah, you don't look good. But they put on that front like everything is good. And then you just act like, everything is good. I mean, you learn that, you pick that over time. And now when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, that's picking your battles. That's also shielding, your young ones from growing up too fast than they should. Leave them be the kid that they are. So that in itself, having my own kiddo, that in itself is like, yeah, man, regardless of what, is showing them too that you're a kid, play as much as you want, ask of anything that can be provided will, and that cannot, with a good, of course, reasoning, which I never got. Not tripping though. Again, it was the times. I want to say the times, because Cameroon and America is two different places, right? The things I'm able to do at my age, I don't know if my dad was able to do that at his age, given the same, place that I'm at right now. I don't know if it's the same, right? So, very privileged in that sense. So just taking what I know as an African, what I've learned in the Western world, and putting that together and finding ways to, adapt on a day to day. Because again, nothing is written in stone. Remember that I have me, and then there's somebody that will come and join in that, and maybe turn it all around or add to it. Who knows, right? So that's my own.
Tayo, let me rephrase that question for you, huh?
Thank
See
you.
that you grew up, watching your dad and stuff. Are there, just from watching your parents maybe, or if something out of deficiency, is there any dysfunction that you have displayed in your relationships that you think that you can trace that comes from that place?
Dysfunction. Like I said, I didn't, like I said, my parents, they didn't really express themselves like that. So I felt like maybe at times if I was like to myself, I could say maybe I can maybe point that. But if I'm being honest, like I feel like I was an open book. Like I've always been sociable. So even in relationships, like even though I didn't see my dad express himself or stuff with my mom, I feel like I was the opposite. Like if I was talking or in a relationship with someone, I'm, saying, just expressing myself the best way I know, trying to get to know them. But I would say in the sense of like, I guess I was saying like a deeper level communication. Maybe I can say maybe I didn't really understand, or maybe I can say I got that from them. But I can't really say much because I mean I feel like if I was to see the dysfunction in the sense of how they didn't express themselves, I feel like that would have been a result in my relationships, but I don't feel like I was a product of that. Like I was the opposite. So I guess like for me seeing how they were, it led me to think like, and then also me having all sisters, and I think that also helped as well. Like hearing, their relationships let me know like what I had to do, as the guy. So
I like that you
can't,
said that, but you flipped my question.
I got
I
one.
know because I'm trying to think. I can't really say something that was dysfunctional with them that I
Not
can say
them, like that. Maybe you saw that impacted you, like you see how
one.
you just flip. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
feel like I took a negative and made it a positive.
Yes, but that was not my question. Surely
Okay.
you've been dysfunction in your relationships.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I could probably say in the way how I say things. I can probably say that. I know I've had times where maybe my parents, the way they talk or they say stuff, and um, tone, how you present things to people matters. And us as guys, we just speak our mind, say it how it is, and sometimes we might not really understand the consequences or how that other person may feel. So I know I've gotten that a lot where I've said things and I maybe just overlooked it because I was like, what do you mean? Like, it is what it is, and not really thinking the effect or how the other person would receive what I said. So I think that's something I can say I got from that, knowing that, my dad just said what he said and he never really thought twice in the sense of that. You know what I mean? There you go.
Sister girl.
Damn. Okay, the good, I would say that my dad always taught me to not necessarily don't depend on no man, but don't depend on no man. Teach me my independence. So to this day, my dad is I'm like big on like, he's very big on like, get your education. So that way you won't ever let a man sit there and play with you. Like he always like shoot for the stars. Get yourself together. Like when it comes to finances, get your credit together, so that way no man can ever sit here and try to play with you or, try to like belittle you. Basically just kind of have it on my own, but not saying necessarily like, let me just be super independent. where it's like where I don't want to take help or whatever the situation is, but let me be equipped and have the resources just in case, you know? So I'll give him like that's the good I learned from that. Piggybacking off of like AK as well, like family like being so family oriented, that was like huge. Like my family's very, 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 very like big on like affection. Not I won't say affection because we actually wasn't affectionate at all for real. For real. Like I never really saw my parents. I think I probably seen my parents kiss maybe like 4 times. But like other than that, it wasn't until like early, like later now, like where I see my dad, like I'll go and give him a hug or kiss or like things like that. Like I never used to do that. So but like being that whole close knit tight family, I'll give him that. The bad, I don't, and or like in when it comes to relationships, I don't know. I think I'll say I took from maybe kind of like the small dysfunction in my family where it's like I'm quick to shut down. I'm quick to like not voice how I feel sometimes, and that can affect like my relationships because once I feel like a Sif, that's all they got here. Sure. Yeah, even the cheek though. Like I don't think I've seen them kiss on the cheek. Like my mom is affectionate, but my dad, like he'll like to make it seem like as if he don't want affection, but then he actually likes it. Like my dad is weird. But yeah, I don't know. But like now lately, like when I go home, if I see him or stuff like that, like I'm always like, that's my honey. Like everybody knows I call like, hey honey, that's my honey. So yeah, I call my dad my honey.
Who's your honey?
My daddy. My daddy is my honey. Like I'll be like,
what?
Hey, honey.
How are you calling your dad honey?
Why not? That's my boo. That's my boo.
Your mom should correct you and say. But
yeah. So like when it comes to the bad though, I would say that I'm quick to shut down and kind of not voice how I feel in a sense because I feel like as if when I'm not understood, I'm just like, damn, like I don't want to repeat myself. And I seen that in my parents because my dad is a very quiet person. So my dad is the observant person, so he'll observe. And when it gets to like shit, when it gets to he can't get it no more, then he'll talk. That's how my dad is. So I think I took from that where it's like, okay, I'm gonna just sit there and not say nothing. I want to say something, but I'm gonna just let it be until shit gets really bad, and then I'll talk. So I think I'll say probably that I probably took from that. But
what about you, T?
Damn, I was about to pull an AK.
Got you.
So y'all do this only to the men, huh? Nah, I'm just playing. But for me, yeah,
you better think long and hard.
Why?
Whoa.
I'll go a different route, right? As opposed to like something that was directly imparted to me. But I'll go the route of like conclusions that I drew for myself or things that I picked up, right? Mm-hmm. Is my case is different, right? You all both grew up with both parents at home. I did not. I did up until a certain time. And then to me, in my mind, I just grew up and gathered like, you cannot, men. I used to grow up thinking like my dad was very present for like the first 9-10 years of my life, right? And I was like, okay, I grew up with that mindset, like the man is the rock of the house type thing, and then shit went sideways, and then I'm like, oh, I guess the man ain't it. That was my conclusion from it, right? And I just picked up on that thinking, okay, you know what? If my mom can make it with 4 kids, I can definitely do that shit too. But you grow up and you realize that shit is hard. And it was not meant to be like that. And just because she did it and she survived, it doesn't mean that that's a route that I have to take, right? And so over the years, I've had to recondition my mind to let go of those things that I picked up at that time, right? To say, okay, you know what? You can do this. Like, don't put your hopes in a man. Like, say, okay, the man would, not like I was waiting for a man to come save me type thing. But, It's like I have come to redefine, like, the man is still the head of the household, right? It just depends now. It's an individual thing whether they fail in that role or not, as opposed to having to just lump all of them into one, if that makes sense. And then I would say the good that I picked up from that is to be able to get my own. It is very, very important for a woman to stand on her own 2 feet, not to use it as a thing, but not to wait on, say, okay, somebody's gonna come and rescue me, damsel in distress type thing. I waited for a rescue, and that rescue never showed up. As a little girl, and I grew up like, I am my own rescue. You don't have to, just because I hate this excuse of I'm just a girl. I hate that shit. I hate it.
Wait a minute, girl, because I've been using that. I've been using it a couple weeks recently.
No, I hate it. And you can use it, right? Because in your context is different from mine, right? But I just hate that sometimes as women we use that excuse. Oh, I'm just a girl. I cannot do this. Like, that shit don't fly over here. They don't work with me. And even with men too, right? With growing with my brothers, having to see how they get a pass on certain things and we don't as girls. And I'm like, if I get to have my own kids, and I hope to God that, I can go down that path where it's equally opportunity for all. We're teaching life skills to both of them. We're not just teaching the women how to cook, the men how to cook. The boys need to know how to cook too. Just giving those life skills where, as opposed to like, your brother is playing football, you come and cook type thing. No. So that's my own little thing for today.
It's a lie.
What's a lie?
In my domain of things, there will be that separation of the
boys are playing ball and the women.
Yes.
The boys will be playing and the women are cooking.
Not specifically like that, but in a sense, it's like it's still going to be that traditional a little bit, like, the women.
No, it will be. Maybe I did not explain well. Let me explain myself very well. There's still going to be gender roles, right? But there's such a thing about life skills. I do not want my child in college and he don't know how to make noodles for himself.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the kind of things I'm talking about. You would teach them life skills. That's what I'm saying. Things that I did not see at home, because they're thinking, oh, don't worry, he will get married and his wife will be cooking for him. Well, what about before he gets a wife, for example? Or his wife will clean after him or something like that. So why are we just letting boys smell? Or why are we just letting them have dirty rooms? But my room has to be A1. That's the kind of things I'm talking about. Now, when he grow up, he and his partner, they will figure out what they want to do with their thing. But I'm not having a child in college who don't know the first thing, how to even boil rice or fry egg. I'm not doing that.
Lay his bed.
Right, make his bed or put his laundry away. You see boys, I know men who pick clothes and do this. Like, if you gotta smell it, you gotta go.
But what if, for example, your son is receptive to this? Then what?
What if my son is receptive? Then he gets the life skills that he needs. That's my goal. I don't want to be able, I know, let's not lie. There are a lot of African men who are helpless. Grown-ass men, very helpless. Cannot do shit for themselves. I do not want, if I have a son, to be one of those people. Now, how you want to divide your gender role, that's your business. But it should not be that your wife is out of town, you don't know the first thing to do in the house. Or your wife is sick, you don't know the first thing. No, it's not from my house. That's all I'm saying. Give you the life skills. I'm hoping that they will be receptive to it. That's all.
Amen to that, man.
We have to give the daughters two life skills of also knowing how to, pay bills.
Oh, yes. Let me tell you something. Let me throw this out there for free, since you mentioned that. I have said that hopefully I want either I want my kids, instead of having like the regular summer jobs, I want them to pick a skill. Somebody is going to the auto shop and learning about cars. Somebody is doing, I would like those kind of hobbies for my children.
That's good.
If I have control over that, yes, a trade. That's what I was looking for. I would like for them to have that.
Wrong.
And there's no discrepancy. Like, you cannot be a woman and you're waiting 3 weeks for your brother to come and change your light bulb. Again, it just comes down to basic life skills. There's no gender when it comes to basic life skills.
So what about this? What about this other life skill? Are you going to teach it how to have sex? What about this other life skill? Are you going to teach it the proper way to have sex?
I'm not gonna give you. I'm not gonna give you.
That's not a life skill.
I'm gonna give you. I'll give you the proper sex education. I will.
Are you gonna?
I hope that we all will. At least explain to your daughter what a period is, right?
Yes.
Explain to your sons how to cater to a woman when she's on her period. All those things are sex education, and not just
not the bedroom, man. When you get woman, do this style. No.
Yeah, or they'll say, oh, when she's in her period, just leave her alone. Yeah,
just
dangerous.
do things
men also how to cater to the women. When teach your sons that, like, let them understand the other place. Sometimes it's a lack of the understanding that makes men just shy away from it. So teach both people, and hey, nothing wrong with it.
I think that most of all teach love, because in love, you'll be able to get somebody to sit there and have that empathy to say, hey, maybe I should run to the store to be able to buy a pad for them.
Exactly.
If that love is not there, you'll just look at them at that point in time as a piece of
smart guy
property, or sorry, you look at them as
something. Let me know which type of pad.
Some disposal thing, and it's like, okay, now you go figure it out, because I don't have that love for you and I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? So I think that we need to teach more love and empathy, which, because at the end of the day, if we're doing one night stand thing and you start bleeding there and you're expecting me to enter the car and drive at midnight to go to the store, I mean, do you see the level of sleep in my eye? It's right here.
Then I would expect you to go to the store and get me some if I don't have any.
Of course. That's what I'm saying, right? It's like we need to
sleep with my.
Hey, they be talking about. I don't want to deal with that, but you want to run red light. You know all about putting a towel down to run a red light, but you don't want to get. Let me catch
you. Oh, hey, God. Those brothers,
let me hear. No. Because it's like picking and choosing, but I don't do this. But you want to run red lights.
If you running red lights, man, you better go and do anything that girl wants. That's all I gotta say. If you can bust that light, you better go and bust your ass to the store.
I'm saying is that just don't, like, if you're gonna do it, don't wait for me to sit there and tell you to do it. I think that goes back to the whole love thing. Like AK was saying, if you see that something is off, or if I'm telling you like I'm about to start my period and you notice I don't have no pads or I don't got no tampons or nothing, like, don't wait for me to be like, damn, I ain't got no tampons or nothing. Like,
now, girl, how he gonna know? You would
know the symptoms. Let me tell you this.
No, I'm not talking about the period. I'm talking about if you're out of tampons.
Oh, well, see, that's okay. Yeah, that's it depends. Sometimes you having a very observant person, and they will actually see, damn, she's running low.
Yeah, but that's something y'all keeping extraordinary skills. I mean, that means because you normally have your side of the bathroom and stuff. I'm not, she's not looking.
First of all, can you imagine the nerve on you to me that I know that you, on this thing called phone or your watch that you have in your hand, you have an app that tracks your cycle. Please calm down, don't break your wall. That tracks your cycle. You have an app that tracks your cycle, and then you are telling me you run out of tampons.
No, that actually is possible.
Well, that's even advanced. A lot of girls don't.
What do you mean? You can go through the app, and the app is not always accurate or whatever the situation is.
Yeah, I was about to say that's advanced. Let's not say that one.
And you are coming for internet.
Okay. Sometimes, let me tell you, that thing catches you by surprise. So you're not expecting it in 3 days, and all of a sudden I'm on your way to your house and I start feeling tingly.
Okay, wait.
It happens.
Okay,
Thank
wait,
you.
okay, wait.
It happens.
Okay, wait, let me ask you this. Okay, back to this. You know to carry charger to be charging your phone, but you don't know. Even if it's in a week.
Because I'm not expecting this
Hold on.
in like a
I'm
week's
not.
time.
I don't walk around with tampons and pads when I'm not expecting to be on my period.
Even if it's a week in advance, and you know that you might just to carry just one, but you can carry a charger any day, anytime.
Sometimes
your
you
battery
do.
is
Sometimes it catches you by just accept that sometimes it catches you by
Well, we
surprise.
know that AK's not
You're
buying
not
no tampons
always
and
gonna
no
be
pads.
prepared.
Well, we
You're
know that
not
now
always.
at this point.
Oh, no, I'm going to that aisle. I'm even walking. See, this is me. I'm coming to that aisle to the cash register. I'm tossing in the air like that. I'm like, can I get this, man? Man, can I get this, please? And I'll be tossing in the air like walking out of it. No shame. What am I shameful for?
We love that. That's what we love.
Yeah. All
that aisle. You know, I used to stand there for hours, stacking the aisle and see people women come in there, you know, in and out, and shoot my shot sometimes too. So what's the big deal?
Yeah.
I'm going there. Anyways, moving on. In conclusion, no, not conclusion yet. This last question to tie everything in. What lessons can this younger generation learn from the relationship experience of older generations and vice versa, if any? I know we've been talking a little bit about that here and there, but to conclude, if each and every one of us can give two, beginning with T, because you went last time. So yeah.
I think that my generation could benefit from learning the tolerance of older generation.
What do you mean?
We are less tolerant to people than our parents were in terms of relationship.
We don't have patience.
They persevered
took mine.
more. Now, I'm not saying to a certain degree, but
Correct.
Perseverance is always a plus in a relationship. And I think that me and my fellow generation, some of us could benefit from that. And then I think what the older generations could learn from us is the courage to be able to speak up for the things that you want and the things that serve you. A lot of times, a lot of things some of our mothers and grandmothers wanted, but they did not have the courage to ask for it. And so they never got it. And also because it was not a thing back then to maybe ask for, imagine, certain things. So I think they could benefit from that.
Tutu, in addressing that question, could you factor this in as you answer that? Address how the older generation can adapt to modern relationship challenges?
I don't think that the older generation can adapt to modern. I just think their mentality is just different. It's just off, and they're just gonna stick to it. Honestly, I really honestly think that, especially when it comes to the African mentality, I really feel like as if they feel like their ways better. It's just
girl. You don't think they can even learn to be affectionate?
You can. Okay, let me not. No, I still say what I said. But for example, like with my mom, or no, with my dad, now I be telling him it's okay to show affection. It's okay to be soft. You don't have to be this hard body. You don't have to be this, I was raised my father was strict, military, military. You don't have to be that. You've already lived that life. It's okay to show affection. It's okay to not every time yell. You can sit down and have a conversation and actually show your emotions. It's okay. But no, they don't want to listen to me. So that's why I say they think their way is better. So that's what it is. So I don't think they can adapt. But sometimes I'll see here and there where he'll kind of be he'll kind of soften up when I tell him things, and I'll be like, okay, I'm coming to you because this is how I feel, and I really want your opinion, but I don't want your opinion if you feel as if it's either my way and no other way. You get what I'm saying? So it's if you're not going to sit here and listen to me, and I'm trying to have a conversation with you, adult to adult. Well, I will never be adult to adult, but you get the point. Like, if I can't sit here and have a vulnerable conversation with you and actually tell you how I feel without you being like, oh, it is what it is, then yeah, nah. I don't know.
I only remember telling my dad that, Dad, I miss you. And I'm still waiting for a reply to today.
Okay, damn. Like for real, like seriously, dead ass.
I tell you, miss me with that.
Like, no, seriously, dead ass stuff. They're like, what is it to miss? Like, I told my dad, like, I'm stressed. What are you stressed about? You have nothing to be stressed about. Like, what do you mean I don't got nothing to be stressed about? I have a whole bunch of stuff. Like, it's just very, I don't know. It's just be given. Yeah. Like, it's okay to be nice sometimes.
I don't know. I got used to it. You know what I mean? I got used to it. I don't know if it's a good thing, but I got used to it. And it's just bad. Sometimes I find myself to kind of.
It's cold. He ain't respond though. Like, I'll tell my dad, like, I can say, like, I love you, Pops. Tell my dad I love you. Like, yeah, I love you too. But I'm just trying to think. If I told my dad, yeah, I miss you, Dad, and
really, this is I love you too.
Yeah.
I don't say that to my dad. I don't know.
Last time I told my dad I love you, all I seen him was as gold. It's like he was looking. Yeah, like, looking. I felt offended because, like, what am I doing? Am I a bad son?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't think. I don't say.
The funny thing is, even when I said it, or even a recent is like, I wouldn't say it was like anger, but it was like in a space of like kind of discomfort. But then at the same time, it's like, I love you. So, like, we may not see eye to eye, but I'm like, I still love you. So that's
you'll say it. You see, you'll say
that's we weren't affectionate in my house.
I don't
think we weren't. No, trust me. This did not happen for my first.
The only person that was affectionate was my immediate older brother. He's always been the affectionate person. Always wanting to be kissing people. I love you, Tap, and I was not feeling none of that. He was the affectionate one, wanting to hold your hand, type shit, like hug you. But in the past, I say I express 8 years or so.
I let him know.
We all talk on the phone, and my mom would say, "I love you, I miss you, I love you too." We say it back now, so I guess some things can change.
You got to get them out now, man. So you got to enjoy the moments while you can. So that's just how I see it. So I'm just putting it all out there.
A bouquet of flowers, right? One time on Valentine's Day, and I brought it to her. Hey, mom, she gave me that one look like, oh, nice flowers. Set them down. I came back 3 days later.
Nothing the same place.
It didn't even move a little bit like this. No, it was just right there. It dried and finished right there. And my dad took it and threw it away. And she never came around that thing. And later on, I said, but she looked at me and said, I do flowers. You should have given them money. Let me cook my food and put in my pocket. Take my food and put the pot.
That's them.
What's the problem?
Hey.
I said,
you gotta know what your parents like. That's one thing I've learned over time.
No. Also, they have to learn to let us show affection how we want to show affection.
Yeah, yes.
They have to learn. Because if you leave it up to my mom, it's always give me money, let me go and do something.
That's my dad.
That's a whole nother recording, please. That's a whole nother recording. I beg, please.
That's a whole nother, but that's my my dad is open, but my mom sit here and be like, let me get you a gift. Like. She ain't about to take it.
I would sit there and tell my mom, let me get you a gift. Just give me the money for it. Please, that's a whole nother recording. I beg.
No, it for really is. We need to talk about finances next.
No, seriously. Please let that be the next one because I got a lot to say.
For sure. Okay, speak of finances real quick, without elaborating too much. Tutu, let me steal your questions here. Should spouses have joint or separate bank accounts? Team.
Yes.
Yes, that one.
Yes, you said they should have. Oh, you said they should. Oh, joint or separate. My bad. Yeah, I think they should have. Not should. I think it is nice to have. Like, we're going to have our separate accounts, but I think a joint account for running the household is a good idea. Okay.
Tayo, what do you think?
I agree. Same thing. Joint account, run the households, have your separate splurge on whatever you want. You don't gotta come to me and take care of yourself.
Okay. Tutu, real quick there. I know you've seen the Usher and DDG well, Usher tried to feed, is it Haley Cherry or whatever? You know, Haley Cherry.
Yeah.
Halle.
Mhm.
I don't know. Talk about that real quick.
So basically, Usher's on his tour, and Usher's concerts are very like risque
Endless tour.
and yeah, like he is very like sexy and sexual. And when you go to his concert, if you're sitting in a certain spot, he'll come to you and he'll like,
Serenade you.
serenade you or do whatever. So this time, Halle is the sister of Chloe, whatever, and then DDG, he's a rapper, whatever. And they went to the concert, and Usher came around and had a cherry and was feeding Halle the cherry. But DDG took the cherry out of his hand and fed Halle. So it was a whole big thing of like, was it wrong for DDG to take the cherry out of Usher's hand and feed Halle? And was Halle wrong for taking the cherry because she was about to she opened her mouth for Usher to put it in there, but DDG took the cherry out of his hand. It was like, nah, I'm gonna feed my girl. So a lot of people were just saying like, was it wrong for her to even like want to do that? Or was DDG wrong for taking the cherry out of Usher's hand or whatever? I personally, this takes me back to the little Omole thing controversy. Remember that when a girl went onto the stage and she was dancing with Omole and she was like basically almost damn near sucking dick on stage or whatever, in a sense. Ooh. Well, she wasn't sucking dick, but like she was on her knees, like behind stage. You get the point. Yeah,
on
but
knees? What was she on?
She was behind the curtains. Behind the curtain, she was on her knees. Yeah, she was on her knees.
It was like a shadow.
It's like a silhouette.
Silhouette.
Yeah. And so then it just took me back to that whole situation, and I'm just like, okay, I understand like both parts. Yes and no. I'd feel like, okay, that's a kind of a violation because why the fuck are you feeding like if it was a girl, like why the fuck are you feeding my nigga cherries while I'm right here? Like, no, that's that. But then also, Usher's an entertainer. His concerts
are you're 50-50.
Yeah, his concerts are like that. So you can't really be like upset because that's what he does. He entertains people. That's why people like going to his shit. But then I would feel some type of way because if it was like a sexy girl or an artist that
right, nigga, go to the single lady. Don't come to my girl.
Why the fuck are you feeding my nigga cherries?
All these single ladies go to a single woman. Like,
then you people should have been at the married people retreat in church and not out there in the streets.
Facts. But honestly, personally, if it was a concert, I don't know. If I was married and it was like a Wale concert or something, I don't know, babe. I don't know. Cause that's my man.
Let me tell you, once Usher gets off that stage, he's not even thinking about you.
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm going back home.
He's out to perform, entertain his people, and go home and get his check.
With all these entanglements going on now, man, I don't know about that, but
you must really think your person is that bad.
Haley's bad. Haley's bad. I don't blame DDG not one bit.
I beg.
She's bad.
I don't think it's wrong. It's just very cheesy. It's like going to a comedy show and getting mad that the comedian makes fun of you. Mm-hmm. You should have stayed in your house.
People were comparing it to a strip club. Like, okay, how do you feel about the whole strip club thing if you went with your spouse and your man is getting bounced on by a girl or whatever?
We both getting bounced on. You got one, I got one. Like, but he's not feeding DDG, so the strip club doesn't work for me. That scenario not. But it's all good. I mean, hey.
Bitches is feeding their titties and pussy to my nigga in the strip club.
They do that to girls.
You're here worried about the cherry in a public place.
There's pussy in my nigga's face, like literally, right there.
Yeah. It was part of the show, man. Just let it, just let it.
Yeah, let it.
Anyways,
it was part of the show.
Word of the week.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
all right. Word of the week.
Wait! Before you go to word of the week. That Gaithersburg College student racial slur incident thing, is that the one where they use a box cutter to he
used a box cutter to put the N-word in the guy's skin,
and that was his swimming
swim teammate,
yeah. Bro, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Anyways, yeah, go ahead. Word of the week, man.
Word of the week is damn. I had y'all. Give me a second. Word of the week is, excuse me?
Identification.
I think I'm saying this right. Luke.
Spell the word first. Spell the word first.
Louquacious.
One more time.
Loq. Hold on. Loquacious.
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 Okay.
Yeah, loquacious. That's the word.
Sound like a hood name.
Loquacious, Laquan,
Hey, chill out.
Loquacious, and it's an adjective. The definition is tended to talk a great deal. Talkative.
Damn, right, Lucretia?
Oh, I know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
Who was that?
He said,
I had a person in mind, but I wasn't going to use them for the sentence.
You guys might as well use it.
Who you think about, T?
Don't drag me into that mess.
Well, I mean,
go ahead and give your example.
I mean, it was nothing. The sentence was just there's nothing worse.
He will say it. Who is it?
Yeah, T, you started
There's nothing worse. Say the sentence.
There is nothing worse than having a loquacious person sit next to you on an airplane. That's my pet peeve. Don't fucking talk to me on the plane. When I have my AirPods in, do not talk to me.
You can't even hear them. So what's the point?
Exactly. Don't tap me. Don't ask me for nothing.
Oh, no, the tap is different.
Don't look over to see the window. Don't do none of that. Just don't talk to me.
Until they have bad breath.
Don't talk to me.
He said until even if they...
So you guys go give the names of the people though?
She probably talked about you.
No problem, but give the names now.
I bet let's end. We don't want to end with violence.
I have a little bit of violence here.
No, I know what you.
What are you talking about?
I have a question. I have a question. I was on the plane coming back to Dallas. There was this guy, and he was with his wife, and they were like seated separate, and the wife was on the other side, and I was sitting by the window. He was sitting in the middle. And so then I guess I got separated, whatever. And so I seen, it was like a Hispanic guy, and I seen that he was typing on his phone, like to kind of ask me, like, do you mind if my wife swaps? And I was just waiting for that nigga to just sit here and give me the phone so I could be like, no, nigga, I'm not passing up my seat. But no, because it's a window seat for one. Like, I'm not giving up my seat. I feel like he should have asked the lady by the aisle because she was sitting by the window seat too, but I didn't want to get up. You know what I'm saying? So how do y'all feel when it comes to like,
You said you're in the middle or?
No, I was in the window.
Okay.
I'm only giving up my seat. When it's like families, like a mom and her kid is separated. You get what I'm saying? Like, how do y'all feel about that? Like the whole.
So you're just a relationship hater.
I'm not a relationship hater. She was sitting by the window. If I really wanted to, I could move, but I'm not going to get up and move because.
Wait, so where was the man? Where was the woman?
So I was sitting at the window. The man was sitting in the middle. His wife was sitting across the aisle, but she was sitting on the window.
Oh, that's all. Yes. So you still would have had a window seat. You just had to just.
I didn't want to move. And why he couldn't ask the lady that was next to us that was sitting in the aisle?
I have a question.
That's true. He had two options.
I have a question though, right?
What's the question?
So, what's the problem with them just flying like that and getting to the destination?
But sometimes, I mean, that's what I was thinking. But then
we're already in the house 24/7. What
if he would be near his?
You don't know this. You don't know the scenario. AK it may not be like that.
They were a loving couple because they were in front of me when we were on getting boarded in the plane, and he was all touchy feely on her and stuff. And I was like, yes, I love that. Like Hispanic people are very affectionate. If you haven't noticed, but like. He was like feeling so maybe he just wants to be near his wife. You don't want to sit next to your significant other if you're on a plane taking a flight together.
Well, they did not buy their tickets.
You're not making your case.
That's why.
You're not making your case.
I'm saying I'm still not getting up for the. I'm not getting up for it.
Okay, so if we book our flights, right, and we were not able to get similar seats. We went to the airport and we spoke to the attendant and we're not able to get seats. Please, as we are getting into the tunnel, into the bridge, don't look at me like the man and say you're the protector, you're this and this and the third. You should find a way to find a seat that we could sit together because you'll be very disappointed.
Why you don't want to sit next to your person?
It's not about not wanting to sit next to them. He's
saying like, telling me last minute.
I'm not about
me to pull a cat out the bag.
Like, do we have to solve a problem that we must do it on this particular plane? The touching that went is must it happen on this particular plane? Man, you know what?
I get it in a sense too, though. It's normally kids. You rarely hear somebody be like, "Oh, I'm not next to my wife. Can you?" It's normally kids. So yeah.
Yeah, if it's a kid, I'm gonna get up because I don't want to separate you from your kid and stuff. But like,
Right.
if it's like older people, you will be okay. And that flight was 2.5 hours, nigga. Your wife is not going anywhere.
Right.
Relax. Take a nap.
Learn how to schedule your flight in advance.
The reason why I would not even like, if I was you, the reason why I would not even accept is because, first of all, maybe if you ask me, then I will have to look at where the seat is at, right? What if the person next to the wife
is big as hell?
You know what I'm saying? Then I have to say no now, and then I'll be rude as shit. You know what I mean? Or
so you even being put in that position, you're already feeling uncomfortable. Like, damn, now I got it.
No, it's just giving. I don't want to get up and have to be doing.
Now that's a lot, but that is a lot to go from one window seat to the other.
And you got to make the whole row get up.
Facts, that's a lot. If you're on the aisle and they're saying, "Can we switch?" then that one is okay. You're already on the aisle, but that's a little complicated.
But switch and I turn around. If you guys have not said one word to each other, or you're not even.
Hey, bro, chill out. AK is going to be examining them throughout. So you didn't say shit.
Flights have just been like as I've been on flights lately. I just been noticing a lot of pet peeves. Like I get it. People travel with their babies, but child, as I start to get on planes with kids
next to one of those.
Oh my God. Like, I get it. You can't help babies. But like when I was going to Maryland, the baby was crying non-stop.
I would ask the flight attendant.
The baby was like, there was like seats ahead. And that baby, when I say that baby did not stop crying until we landed.
No
like
mute, no AirPod.
The mom got in the middle of the aisle and she was jumping up and down, trying to calm that baby down. Like, it was giving a lot. And I felt so bad. Like, I wanted to take the baby from the mom and be like, do you need help? Because I understand she was stressed out. But then sometimes be like, damn, like.
Just get a baby breast milk, man. That baby be good. That's all you gotta do is slap
a titty in that
slap the titty into the baby's mouth, man.
Change the diaper.
You are spoken truly like a person who is not a parent.
Mm-hmm. It could be one of the few. It could be the baby is either needs to be changed, the baby is hungry, the baby is fussy. It's one of them three. It's one of them.
2 out of the 3, a titty will solve
it. But you do know that when a child is fussing, there's nothing that can calm them down most times, right? That's just
that's
babies do. Like, babies cry. Sometimes for no reason.
The baby cried the whole entire 2 hours.
You also know that maybe it might have been the baby's first time on the plane, right?
Yes, and that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, like,
it's different for them.
Yeah. But then I can't be too hard because once upon a time, one day in my life, I'll go through this.
The thing is that baby one is very normal. The shit that pisses me off is them niggas that sit in the plane and act like they got ants going through their body. Every single minute, they are standing up and walking the aisle. Like, bro.
Yes.
A confined environment. Can you just sit the fuck down and stop making me nervous? Because I've watched too many shows that are taking over a plane, and it's always the niggas that are always walking up and down. So please sit down. You're making me nervous already, bro. Like, just sit down. I beg. Anyways, them niggas.
Well, yeah, great conversation, guys.
Yeah. Oh, in closing, to that question, there was this couple that were traveling, and the wife wanted Chick-fil-A so bad, right? But they were at a gate, and they had 5 minutes to start to complete boarding, and they were like they were still at Group D or whatever. It was going to Group D. I mean to F. And the wife was like, could just run there and then come back. So she ran up. On coming back, they had closed the door and they were not opening it. And the husband was in the plane. So do you think that he was wrong for leaving her behind?
Wait. He left the wife?
Yeah, he left the wife, yeah.
The wife went to get the Chick-fil-A and he didn't hold the plane for her?
How old?
Oh, hell no. I'm beating the shit out of you because absolutely not. After you asked me to go get you food for the both of us.
No, he did not ask her. She said she wanted food. He said, we only have 5 minutes and the plane it's boarding, and if you close out them doors,
and he still got on that flight and left
and
me.
she said no, she must go and get that food. And
Well, maybe she was really hungry.
okay, maybe she was really hungry. Maybe too, he probably had a dateline. Maybe he needed to be where he needed to be, and she just.
But you leave your wife. You
He
left.
did not
you,
get on that
you
plane. He
intentionally
got to miss
left
the
your
flight
wife.
with her.
Let me tell you something. In this particular climate, this day and age right now, with flights being cancelled, please let somebody's daughter dare try me.
Oh hell no! Because as soon as I get on that plane and I land, I'm going straight to your body. Because absolutely not. What type of nonsense? Why would you even leave me? What type of nonsense is that?
Well,
I will leave the man.
Like, why
Not leave the man. If it was the man who went for the Chick-fil-A, I will enter the plane and leave him there.
exactly. Thank
Oh
you.
hell no!
Trouble.
Because you know what? That 5 minutes of Chick-fil-A, you cost both of us. Now we are both miserable. And you see things like that. It's usually something that she does all the time.
That is
So
true.
you know what?
That's wild.
You will learn today.
Yeah, you will see Shaggy, see the trouble. Anyways, yeah, he left.
I'm like, babe, I would have just been like, yo, babe, don't. I know you want Chick-fil-A. I'll buy you whatever first class meal they have on flight. Please, that's wild though. That's selfish. That's ignorance. I don't know.
The minute you see that it's 5 minutes that they'll close this door, and you forcefully decide that you want to go and buy Chick-fil-A, that's the beginning of me knowing that something in your head is not
is not correct.
Something is not normal upstairs. Yeah. But anyways, man. It was swell. Any conclusions here, guys? See, you look too bored. Please don't look too bored like that. Yeah, Tutu look too bored. But anyways, any conclusions, guys?
No conclusions.
Nah, I think we
I said everything I needed to say today on the topics.
Cool.
Thank you. Watch it again. Give us a follow and a like and comments. Thanks.
And subscribe.
Follow us on all social media platforms at PWC Cast. And this episode is sponsored by Stuck in the Middle. And yeah, we got our good people with us. Shout out to my sister girl T. Shout out to Chef T. Shout out to Uncle AK. You know, and the whole team, the whole squad. And thanks for watching, and catch you guys next week. And we out.
Peace.
Deuces.